Hey everybody, welcome back to Mo and Dave. Appreciate you guys tuning back in. So Mo's at the grocery store. She's just picking up a few things. We don't need much. Heading over to Cebu in Manila for about a week and a half. So she just has to pick up coffee and a few little things. But I was down in the garage and things were going crazy down there. A lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic. The neighbors building their house, motorcycles, girls doing TikTok across the street. So I decided to come on our back balcony off our bedroom. Got a great view here of some big banana trees. Our little security measure here. What I was going to talk about today was I went through the stats on my YouTube page, and it shows the male viewers. And what I noticed is 65 and up, 65 years old and up, 27% of my viewers. That's pretty unreal. 55 to 64 years old was 43% of my viewers. 45 years old to 54 years old was 21%, and 18 to 45 was 9%. Now I'm looking at the younger generation as mostly my shorts, right? But the majority of my views were between 55 and 65 plus, and that counted for basically 70% of my viewers. So that's kind of telling me that there's a lot of guys out there that are interested or looking to have a better life somewhere else. And so some of the things I thought about before moving overseas, and I didn't know if I was going to Thailand or the Philippines or Vietnam. I didn't know. And I thought, well, maybe I'll travel around and figure it out. But when I came over and did 30 days straight, I was able to bounce around all over the country, and I figured out that I could live here. I could live here on a pretty decent income, right? And be able to save at the same time. So I was going to start talking about, I was single for 22 years. I got divorced when my youngest of 4 children, my youngest son, was about a year and a half old. And I never remarried. I just dated, but nobody I dated lasted long. The dating scene in the U.S., and I'm only talking about the United States because that's the country I'm from. That's the only one I know where I was dating a lot. The scene there was just horrible. The women were more masculine than anything. They were aggressive, and this is my perspective. And everyone is entitled to their own perspective of things. That's what makes America great. So I just found that women were more aggressive. They demanded more from you than what they gave. When I was married, I used to mow 3.5 acres. I worked 60 plus 80 hours a week. So I had to mow 3.5 acres and weed whip and maintenance on the house. And I covered all the bills. And I just couldn't understand. I'd come home, there'd be piles of laundry. So I do laundry on Saturdays, Sundays, mow the lawns, do all that stuff, clean the house. And I was thinking back all those years that I was married and raising 4 kids, and I was thinking that I was happy and thinking this is the right thing to do. And one day I woke up and I decided that I didn't want that life anymore. I love my children, and there were some things that happened because I traveled a lot, so things happened back at home that I wasn't really appreciative of. So I made that decision to go my own way and raise my kids, you know, the weekend warrior father kind of thing. And then I got custody of my youngest son, you know, when he was 16, 15 going on 16. So I never got serious because every single woman that I went out with had a demand, and they had so much baggage, and they used you as a punching bag for all their bad relationships. And you just get beat on, and you thought, man, I divorced for less than this. Why do I want to put up with this woman, right? So when you try to figure out where can I go, when's the time for me? Oh, well, my last kid hit, 22 2 years old. He's 21 when I left, going on 22. All my kids were stable. They're all able to support themselves. And I said, I'm done here. After all these years of dating and twisting, and I had women that would scream in my face, and I just stay calm and look at them and think, I'm done with this, you know? And I know a lot of you guys felt or are feeling that right now. So the other portion of it is a financial thing. How can I financially go over there? You know, I can barely make it now. I've heard this because I've gotten a lot of comments. I wish I could go, but I only make $2,400 on Social Security and I have bills here. Guys, I figured out how to get over here for 30 days. And when I went home, I sold everything in a 90-day period. I was back here 3 months later. I made that decision. And I know that's scary for some people, but for me, being at the age that I was able to pull that off. And I mean, I sold everything. I sent some boxes over, personal stuff, pictures, family items. But I sold everything that I made money with. All my woodworking tools, all my construction tools, sold everything. And I took the leap of faith. I trusted my judgment. I trusted me as a person. I trusted me as a survivor. And I just couldn't deal with the dating scene in the West. I didn't want to be there anymore. Now, my wife right now, Mo, is the most sweetest, kindest woman ever. She doesn't argue. I don't argue. We tease each other. We have fun. We travel together. We are together 24 hours a day just about, except when she's off running and doing errands. We spend so much time together. In the last 2 years, solid with her, because I travel back and forth, 2 years solid with her, I probably spent more time with her in the 2 years than I spent with my ex-wife the last 10 years we were together. I mean, literally, because I was traveling. I'd be gone for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time. And I'd come home for a weekend with a stack of bills to pay and pay the guy that was mowing my lawn when I was gone, paying all the stuff, paying off the credit cards for her going clothes shopping, paying off the credit cards for her going out to lunch with her friends and paying for it. She didn't pay for it. I paid for it. I was the backbone of the family financially, and everybody was having fun but me. So getting divorced and having that 22 years to sit there and think about what I really wanted and how miserable I was in the U.S. Not because it's a bad country. It's because I didn't like the damn women there. Now, I got a lot of friends that are women, and I love them to death. Would never date them, but they're my good friends, right? And I watch what they do to their men or their husbands or boyfriends. And it blows me away that men put up with that bullshit, you know? Here, it was hard for me to adjust because Mo just throws you back in the chair and she said, hey, you take care of everything. I take care of the house. Well, I do laundry because I like to do laundry. But she folds it all up and puts it all away. She cooks all the meals. Now, I'm not forcing her to do this. I cook on the grill every once in a while. I'll cook some meals in the house that she's never had. But majority of things in this house, when she gets on a cleaning spurt, you leave her alone. It takes her 5, 6 hours to clean this little apartment, and it is spotless. I don't ask her to do any of this. She does this naturally. She wants to take care of the family. She knows family values, which I know we've lost in the West. And I look at her son Jacob now, who's my son, right? And I see how she raises him. She's stern but loving, right? She doesn't let him slack off. She doesn't let him get out of line. And back in the States, I date women that let their kids scream and yell and carry on and talk back. And I thought, man, this is crazy. I don't want to be around this. I don't want to be with this woman that has 3 kids and they're all screaming and yelling and having tantrums at the dinner table and they're not being corrected and I can't do it because I'm not their father. Who wants to be in that shit? Here, I was skeptical at first, and I gave it a go, and I'm glad I did. And I love the hell out of little Jacob. He's a great kid. He's learned English way faster than I've learned his language, and just a smart kid, fun, laughs a lot, plays extremely hard. He's more into playing than anything. But let's get back to it. The reason I came here is because it was time for me. It was time for me to enjoy my life. I worked to support my family for all those years. And when it's your time, it's your time. You have to figure a way out. You have to figure out what you're going to do to accomplish your goals to be happy in life. And I pulled the trigger. And some people, oh, you copped out, you ran from the States, you did this. I didn't run from nothing, bud. I just know what's going to make me happy and what I have to do to make me happy. Now with Mo, I get to make her and Jacob happy. I won on that. I got 2 people to love me instead of 1. I got her and Jacob. So I got a twofer out of it. I mean, that's a bang out bargain, right? I wanted to raise another kid. I don't want to have any more kids, but I don't mind raising another kid. I think it's fun. That's the best part. Being a dad, a stepdad, if you can have fun doing it, that's a good time. I got buddies that are completely opposite of me here. They don't want to raise anybody else's kid. They don't want to have children. And I get it. And maybe in a different situation, I'd have been more selfish myself and said, I just want to go over there and play and have fun and date around. That's not who I am, you know? So don't take life for granted, guys. You only got one. You got one chance in it. You need to make a real go of it, man, especially if you're in your 50s and you're capable of letting loose and getting out of there. If you're 62 and you're collecting Social Security, you can do this. You don't have to have all that stuff back there. You don't have to have all the material things here. You don't have to have it all. You don't have to have any of it. Material things, when you die, nobody gives a shit about that. They throw most of it away. Things that you think are valuable, your kids don't care about. I watched it. My grandfather, when he passed away, 90% of his stuff went in a dumpster. The things that he had pride in got thrown in a dumpster. You have one life, man. You know? When you leave the U.S. permanently, when you finally make that decision, no one even knows you're gone hardly. My kids and I talk on Messenger. We chat every once in a while. I mean, it's like time sits still, you know? It doesn't. It kicks ass. It's clicking. And people just don't know. And when you come back into town, it might be 5, 6 years later. Oh, hey, Dad. They don't realize they're young. It's just part of life. But I had a neighbor that used to sit in his garage. He'd have his garage door open. He had a card table out there. And, you know, he retired from a pretty good job. And I told this story before. And I kept going over there and walking up saying, what are you going to do with your life? Just sit here and wait to die? And he bought that RV and took off to Florida. And he freaking loved it. Now, I'm not saying you guys got to go to Philippines or Thailand or Vietnam. I'm saying get off your ass and live. Stop sitting in front of the TV all these hours. Stop sitting in the house and suffocating yourself. You need to get out and enjoy life. You only have so much of it. And tomorrow's not guaranteed, man. It's just not guaranteed. So I've rambled on, kind of went around a few things. I just hope I can inspire one person to get off their ass and start living for them instead of everybody else. Your kids come around once a year. You're going to sit around. Well, I want to see my grandson. Okay. I want to see my granddaughter. Okay. I want to see my kids. Okay. How often do they come around? Oh, once a year they come home for Christmas. So you're going to sit there for 365 days and see them for 2 days. That's not living, man. That's dying slow. And you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I would have pulled the trigger and just ventured out a little bit, got off my ass and did something. So on that note, I will let you guys go. And I hope some of you guys actually listen to some of us YouTubers sitting over here in the Philippines about taking care of your mental health, taking care of you. Do things that make you happy. I'll talk to you guys later. Next video. Take care, everybody.